The record, can you state your complete name and your designation?
My name is Toffer Briones. I am the managing director of Block Dojo Philippines.
Sir, yung nangyari kanina, it is pitching for what po specifically?
Good question. So today is our showcase day, or demo day, where the founders or the startups that you see here today, they went through a 3-month program. And then after the 3 months, this is the culmination. So they're showcasing from idea, how far they have come basically. Have they started getting customers? Have they started building the technology? Some of them obviously have started maybe earlier than the 3 months. Some of them really started their idea from only day 1 of the 3 months. So the pitch is to showcase what is now their achievement and what do they want to do in the future. Yeah.
Are we seeking for funding?
Good question. So, yes, I would say all of them are seeking funding, but not all of them are in the same pace. Kasi yung iba mas magastos as a company, right? Because meaning, if you're a tech company that let's say has some hardware and you have to spend more on that, then you need a little bit more funding. Some because it's maybe you can start to get customers even with a website, just to see if there's interest. Then you can maybe handle it slightly cheaper. So yes, they're all seeking funding, but they're all requiring different, maybe levels of amounts of funds. Yeah.
How did you choose which startups for participate?
Great question. So we had about 100 plus applicants for this cohort. So this is our second cohort. We had a pilot run of 3 startups in cohort 1. So for cohort 2 we had 6, right? So we had about 100 plus applications for that. Now when there's a startup and they only have an idea, it's very hard to select them based on the idea because the idea can change. So we really check if does the founder have some sort of competitive advantage or better understanding of that problem that they want to solve. So kunyari, you'd probably see, let's say, Clarice from Willow. She's been a coach and also in the HR space. She's taking her master's degree in psychology. So she has a bit of authority to talk about mental wellness in the Philippines, right? Parking, this is his second IoT startup. So because his startup requires IoT, then you can make sense of it, right? Same with
Pet.
who was the first one? Pet to Pass. He has 10 pets. He's very passionate about it, right? He will go to pet events every weekend, right? So we're trying to look for, is this founder very strong at something, has some business potential, but also it really knows that particular space that they want to create an innovation on. So that's the criteria that we have.
Do you also help them connect with the organization that they need to work with?
Yes. So actually,
Like
Chino, our head of
parking,
strategic partnerships,
Yes.
because he has some network and experience in the industry, he knows who are the right people to connect with, and sometimes even if we don't know the exact person, exact company, we don't have an in there, we know enough people to kind of connect them there. So that's actually one of the value propositions that we give to the startups, right?
To what extent?
As simple as booking meetings with them. Sometimes we could get them as a mentor. So for example, for parking, because he's working at events, the event organizer of this event, we had a meeting with her, but not as an event organizer, but as an expert in the space, right?
Parking, you have to connect with so many
Yes, correct.
Institutions or house.
And
So siguro si parking, one of the main customers could be, let's say, residential condos. So DMCI is one of his main customers. He's targeting other big property developers. But also kunyari, events places, right?
Yes.
Philippine Arena, he
Exactly.
tried. I also watched Coldplay back in, a couple months ago. I had the same problem, to be honest. I understand the problem. So he's looking at those events places and then seeing where else can he install.
And you'll bound that to return, diba? When you experience parking problems. You'll bound that to return to the
Yeah.
place.
Like, lalo na, you spend a lot of money on the event, pero it takes you 5 hours to get out of the event. So, some people would be willing to pay, like if I ask you, would you be willing to pay 500 pesos just to make your 5,000 peso ticket more worth it? You're probably gonna pay the extra 500, right? So, That's what we do. We help them. We help bridge them to the right stakeholders that they need to speak to. Yeah.
What are the emerging trends have you seen? What industries are reaching out to you?
Applying for us or
Yes.
just in general trends in the market? Siguro, why we're in blockchain or Web3 is that it started with crypto and then became NFT. But a lot of people got burned in that space because it kind of turned, like for lack of a better word, kind of turned into gambling. Those people got involved to it. They didn't know what they were getting into. They put some money and then they lost money. But actually, that technology can be used for a lot of really useful things, like kunyari, digital identities. For example, if you go to your eGov app, or let's say you have a passport, right? Right now, all of our documents are separate. My passport, my driver's license, my birth certificate, all of these documents. But actually, if you put them on the chain in a secure space, I no longer need to carry multiple documents. I can actually just put them in one portfolio of Toffer Briones, and these are all of his credentials. And then I can give permission to the people who want to check that I do have that document. So blockchain as a trend is actually gonna start to be more useful rather than the gambling component. Yes, people can get involved in that. I'm not gonna say whether that's right or wrong, but because that's for people's like personal belief, right? But in terms of utility, we can now start to see the application of blockchain to something that's really helping solve real world problems, right? Like ease the, let's say getting your document, like for example, one of the companies certified, they digitize, let's say, diplomas, transcripts, credentials, right? So rather than waiting for 3 days or 5 days and then paying extra to the school, you can now pay a smaller fee and then you can get it instantly, right? Like someone can check, yes, this person is from UP, this person is from this school. So that's blockchain. Blockchain is very useful for something like that. Yeah.
And you're in your first year, am I correct?
We are almost 1 year old. In about
This year.
so August last year we launched. I think the launch event was in Grand Hyatt last year in BGC. And yes, we're getting into our first year of operations in the Philippines. Yeah.
So where is blockchain now? And what are your visions
I would say
for the
it has grown a lot since last year, but it's still ongoing. Kasi in terms of education, more people still, sometimes a lot of these technologies, like imagine AI, right? Now AI is so popular, you know why? Because there's ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone knows AI now on a more normal level because they have interacted with ChatGPT, right? But people don't really care that it's AI. They just care that ChatGPT works. So I think in terms of that, blockchain has not reached the same level of success yet because you're probably not using an app that's based on blockchain yet, right? Unlike ChatGPT, it's very clear it's AI, right? So it's getting there, but it will take a bit of time for educating the market of where blockchain can be applied still.
How many
Yeah.
companies do you intend to
Invest in?
yes.
So we've already invested 9 this year. In the next cohort,
What about last year?
So last year was just preparation for cohort 1 in
so
January.
9 this year.
9,
including
yeah.
this
So we
one.
started the first cohort in January. The next cohort was in May, so second cohort in May, right? We finished today. And then the third cohort will be in September.
Oh,
So
That's
yes,
soon.
we're targeting 6 to 8 companies as well.
more.
If they're more qualified ones, so maybe more than that, but that's the usual range, maybe 6 to 8 startups per cohort.
What's the vision of blockchain?
Of Block Dojo.
Block Dojo.
I know. Like I mean,
Yeah, sorry,
the
sorry.
block is for blockchain,
Yeah.
so it's a fair mistake. We believe that we really need to empower founders because if you notice, our business model is we invest in idea to early stage founders, and like I said, the ideas always change through the program. So I think the vision is like one for Filipino talent to believe that hey, Filipino talent is actually world class, right? Sometimes we get overlooked. I lived abroad for 10 years, and then coming back, seeing it in the region, we're actually a lot more creative than we believe, right? Even English literacy is very high, right? But the challenge sometimes is a lot more environmental and circumstantial. So we believe that if we can provide the right structured environment for founders, then we can empower more Filipino founders solving real world Filipino problems also. Right? So that's the vision, right? To create as many founders who can solve as many, Filipino problems there, and maybe those problems are also global, so we can make a lot of money doing that, right? So it's win-win, and we can give that money back to the ecosystem. So that's the idea.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sa startups po na nag-apply po sa inyo or na tinutulungan nyo, what common problem po na nakikita nyo nag-struggle sila?
So a lot of the ones who pitch to us, so maybe the ones who don't qualify yet, and we don't say they didn't pass, right? It's more of like, come back to us another time maybe. It's really because they believe it's just an idea is just put a tech or buzzword to it, it's gonna work. No, actually, like I said kanina, the struggle is if you don't know what you're talking about, meaning you don't have real life experience around it, or you didn't do your research by talking to people, it's very hard for people to believe you. So I think we need people to have that proof that actually I've talked to like 30 or 100 people, or maybe I've been working in this space for 15 years. And then we notice that those are the people who really know the problem. So I guess to summarize, they fall in love with the problem, but not with the solution. Because when you fall in love with a problem, you can come up with so many ways to solve that problem. But when you get fixated in the solution, the moment the
There's
solution
just
doesn't
one.
work, it's over, right? So my advice to a lot of founders who will apply to our program or other programs in the ecosystem is, articulate first what is the problem that you want to solve. And why is that a problem? How big is that problem? Then the solution becomes obvious when you pitch that idea. So that's my invitation to founders.
Thank you.
And yeah, I guess just to plug, our cohort 3 is open. Please, like if anyone's watching this, it's still available for application now. Please send your applications in, and then we're actually available for some consultations. If you think, oh, I don't know anything about blockchain, that's fine. We will tell you how blockchain ready your idea is, and it's not even a criteria for us, right? Because we know how to make it blockchain ready. So as long as it's a real problem that's worth solving, come to us. Thank you very much.